Hey, good morning, my friend. Welcome back to the Ride-In. It is Wednesday morning, March the 25th, and this morning I wanted to speak to the idea of our motivation in regards to as leaders, as friends, as co-laborers in the ministry, how we paint the picture that causes people to want to be involved. The ministry always has needs, constantly. Jesus made this clear when he said, pray for laborers, right? The harvest is plenteous, but the laborers are few. We don't have a harvest problem, we have a laborer shortage. And so it's nothing new today. There's always a need for laborers. And it's important for us to always look for in our efforts to motivate others, the idea of inspiration rather than shame or guilt. We can make somebody feel pretty bad. We could use our wit and our wisdom to really make somebody feel small, and if they don't get involved, and if they don't do this or that, then they're the worst person in the world. And we often we look at people, and I've done it in my life so many times where I had the wrong spirit and I was in the flesh and I'm doing something alone, and where is everybody else? And instead of looking at myself and looking at Nehemiah, he was building that wall, and he in the face of adversity, and there was a great need there. And I don't remember reading anywhere along the line where somebody guilted Nehemiah into doing it. I do know that Nehemiah had a burden. He saw a need. He was moved. And we see a bit into his heart when he's up on that wall and he said, I am doing a great work. I cannot come down. He believed the work was great because however it came about in his thinking, this work was great, and so he gave himself to it. And so we have to keep in mind, as a part of, when it comes to inspiring people to be involved in things, how are we painting the picture? It's not just a hole that needs to be filled. It's not just trying to make it so that I have less work to do. It's a great work. It's something that is eternal. It's something that God has a plan that involves impacting lives, and eternity is at stake. And it's not about making somebody feel bad so they do something. It's about helping people understand true biblical priorities. And so there may or may not be a truth to the fact that a person that you have in mind that should be involved in something, should or shouldn't be, perhaps their priority is different than yours. And so we have to respect other people's individual soul liberty in terms of what they give themselves to. And you may look from your vantage point and say, that person doesn't do a thing. How do you know that? How do you know what they're going through? How do you know what they're involved in? Maybe you're right, maybe they don't, but that's between them and God, and that is something that the fact is they're missing out on. And that doesn't mean that you get bitter because you are doing everything, quote unquote. Do what you can do. If you there's not a one of us that ought to feel like we have to be the savior of the world. There is one savior. His name is Jesus. And, do what you can. Do what is within the power of your hand to do, and leave the rest to God. And ask yourself, is there a way that I can inspire people? Is there a way that I could, maybe there are some people that should be more involved in a certain aspect of ministry. What am I not doing to paint the picture that there's a need, it's a worthy cause, It's something that should be invested in. It's something that's worthy of sacrifice. It's worthy of investment. It's worthy of time and energy and resources. If people see that and they understand it, and we can convince them to believe in it, and not through manipulation, but through real, genuine presentation of instruction, teaching, then the investment, the decision, the choice to be involved will be real to them. It will be something that they can't ever come to a point where they say they were coerced. They're not doing something because they were guilted into it. They're doing it because in their mind they believed in the cause and they chose to give themselves to it. And in my thinking, I think that is a much greater way to enlist volunteers in the work of the ministry, is by not by shaming somebody into something, or guilting them, but by presenting the cause as something that's worthy to be invested in. And a person has a choice to make in terms of all their resources, their time, what it is that they do, and they have that choice to make. So, Christian, I hope that makes sense to you. And before you get all worked up about who's not doing whatever, I want to encourage you to examine your own heart and see what part we have to play in the presentation of the need, as well as our own investment, that for whatever reason we've become frustrated, we've become impatient, and we've become not at peace. What other people do should never have an effect on that. I'm not just preaching to you. I mean, I wrestle with the same things, because in my mind, fill in the blank should be being done. And so I've got to search my own heart, ask the Lord to search my heart in that process, and to examine, really, is that being approached from the right perspective, a biblical perspective, a wise, a Christ-like perspective, and mature. So anyway, something to think about. I love you. Hope you have a great day today. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.